fish has never taken a swimming lesson, not a single one. It doesn't study, it doesn't practice, it doesn't wake up at 5 a.m. to work on its technique. It just swims. Because the swim was already in the fish the day it was born. I want you to sit with that for a second because it might be the thing that finally sets you free. Look at a bird. It never enrolled in flight school. It never read a book on aerodynamics. It just flies. Because again, the flight was already in the bird. And a seed never sat through a class to figure out how to become a tree. You bury it, you give it water, you give it light, and it becomes the exact thing it was always going to be. The tree was already in the seed. Here's what I want you to notice. Nothing in nature works its butt off to become what it already is. It doesn't strain, it doesn't compare itself to the thing next to it, it just functions. And when it functions the way it was built to function, something happens that most people chase their whole lives and never catch. It succeeds automatically. For a fish, success isn't a goal, it's a byproduct. It's what happens on the way to just being a fish. The bird isn't trying to be good at flying, it's just flying, and the success comes along for the ride. Now look at how we live. We treat success like this mountain, like it's sitting at the top of some brutal hill, and the only way up is to suffer more than the next person. More hours, more hustle, more discipline. And when we're not winning, the story we tell ourselves is always the same. I'm not working hard enough. I'm not disciplined enough. I'm not enough. Now let me offer you a different explanation, one that's more honest and probably a lot harder to swallow. You were built with something already in you. Before you had a resume, before anybody told you what you were supposed to be, God put a design in you, the same way the swim is in the fish. And most people will go their entire lives and never touch it. Not because they were lazy, it's the opposite. They worked incredibly hard, they just worked incredibly hard at the wrong thing. They spent 30, 40, 50 years trying to win a game they were never built to play. Think about what that actually looks like. A fish on land looks useless, flopping around, exhausting itself, going nowhere. A bird underwater looks weak and slow and clumsy. When you drop a seed on the concrete, it looks dead, but none of them are failures, not one. They're not broken, they're not untalented, they're in the wrong environment. Put that same fish back in the water and it's the most graceful thing you've ever seen. So let me ask you the question that actually matters, the one nobody asks, because we're too busy beating ourselves up. When you feel like you're failing, are you actually failing? Or are you just a fish standing on dry land, wondering why everyone around you seems to move so easily? Now there's an old line that you've probably heard, but if you judge a fish by its ability to climb a tree, it'll spend its whole life believing it's stupid. That's most people. Brilliant, capable, powerful people who got graded their entire lives on how well they climb. School graded you on climbing. Your last job graded you on climbing. Your family, your friends, the algorithm, all of it handing you a scorecard for a skill you were never built to have. And you believe the score. You looked at the tree you couldn't climb and you decided something was wrong with you. Nothing was wrong with you. You were never a climber. You're a swimmer who just got kept out of the water. So how does it happen? How do so many capable people end up flopping around on dry land? Well, we copy each other's water. We look at where someone else is thriving and we think that's it. That's where success lives. So I'll go there. I'll do what they do. I'll grind the way they grind. And we walk straight into an environment that's perfect for them and slowly drowning for us. The successful version of someone else is often the worst possible environment for you. Their water will pull you under and you'll blame yourself the entire time you're going down. This is the part that most people never untangle. They think the problem is their effort. The problem is their design got buried under everyone else's idea of who they were supposed to be. And digging it back up, that's the real work. Not more hustle, but more honesty. So how do you find your water? And let me give you something you can actually use, because I don't want this to be another nice idea you forget by tomorrow. Stop asking what you should do. Start watching what you already do. What comes easy to you that other people find hard? We tend to dismiss those things because we assume if it's easy, it can't be valuable. But that's backwards. The thing that's effortless for you and exhausting for everyone else, that's the swim. That's a clue to your design. Where do you lose track of time? Where does the work stop feeling like work? Pay attention, because that's your environment talking to you. And here's the uncomfortable one. What have you been forcing? Where are you flopping around on dry land, working twice as hard as the people next to you for half the result, and then calling yourself weak for it? Name it, be honest about it. You can't move towards your water until you admit which land you've been stranded on. Alignment isn't soft, it isn't woo, it's the most practical decision you'll ever make. It's the difference between fighting the current your whole life and finally letting it carry you. So before you call yourself lazy or broken or behind, ask the better question. Are you actually failing, or have you just been a fish graded on how well you climb? Success was never about effort, it's about alignment. You don't need to try harder on land. You need to find your water and get back in it. I hope this video helped you. If you haven't done so, subscribe to the channel, give this a thumbs up, leave a comment down below, and I'll see you on the next video.